The ringing wouldn't stop. 3 weeks after the accident at our annual family reunion, the high-pitched whine in my left ear persisted like an endless alarm. I sat in my bedroom, hands pressed against my ears, trying to make sense of what happened that night. "Marcus, honey, please eat something," Mom called through my door, her voice muffled and distant. Even through my right ear, sounds were becoming harder to distinguish. "Dr. Stevens said it's just temporary trauma. It'll heal." Dr. Stevens, the family's general practitioner who barely looked in my ears before dismissing my concerns. The same doctor who'd been friends with my parents for 20 years. I was 24, had just finished my music production degree, and landed my dream job at a recording studio in Los Angeles. Now, everything I'd worked for was slipping away, dissolving into a soup of distorted sounds and painful feedback. The accident replayed in my mind, my cousin Jake, drunk and angry about my recent success, approaching me with the Roman candle. "Hey cuz, check out this cool trick." The malice in his eyes. The way he aimed it not up at the sky, but directly at my head. The searing pain as the firework exploded inches from my left ear. My phone buzzed. A text from Uncle Robert, Jake's father. "Family meeting tonight. We need to discuss your accusations against Jake. Don't make this bigger than it needs to be." Accusations. That's what they called my truth. Jake was the golden child, headed for law school, captain of his college debate team. I was just the artsy cousin who got lucky with a hobby job. The doorbell rang, and I heard multiple voices downstairs. My right ear picked up fragments of heated conversation. "He's exaggerating. Jake would never." Think about the family's reputation. Just a stupid accident. I pulled out my phone and watched the video again, the one my friend Tommy had taken while recording the fireworks display. The perfect evidence of Jake's deliberate action, his calculated angle, the way he waited until no one else was looking. Tommy had sent it to me before my parents convinced him to delete it, claiming it was for insurance purposes. A knock at my door. "Marcus." It was Aunt Sarah, Jake's mother. "Sweetie, we all know it was just boys being boys. Jake feels terrible. Can't we move past this?" I didn't respond. Instead, I opened my laptop and clicked on the email I'd received that morning. "Dear Mr. Davidson, your appointment with Dr. Patricia Wong, senior audiologist at Metropolitan Hearing Center, is confirmed for tomorrow at 9 a.m. Please bring any relevant medical records and documentation of the incident." My hands shook as I forwarded Tommy's video to my cloud drive. Below stairs, I could hear Jake's voice now, probably practicing his rehearsed apology. The same one he used after breaking my guitar in high school, after sabotaging my college application, after every accident that somehow always targeted my music career. Mom appeared in my doorway, eyes pleading. "Marcus, the family's here. Can't we discuss this reasonably? Jake's law school admission could be affected if this gets out." I stood up, grabbing my jacket. The room spun slightly, another lovely side effect of the damage. "I have an appointment tomorrow," I said, my own voice sounding strange and distant. "With who?" Mom's tone sharpened. "Marcus, we agreed Dr. Stevens would handle this." "No, you agreed. I'm seeing a specialist." Dad appeared behind her. "Son, think about what you're doing. Jake's your cousin. Family protects family." I pushed past them, struggling to maintain my balance. The voices in the living room hushed as I descended the stairs. Jake stood there, perfect in his polo shirt and practiced concerned expression. "Hey cuz," he said, reaching out. "No hard feelings, right? These things happen." I met his eyes, seeing not remorse but calculation. The same look he'd had right before lighting that fuse. "Marcus," Uncle Robert stepped forward, "let's be reasonable. We can handle this privately. The family will cover any medical bills." My head throbbed with a constant ringing, but my voice was steady. "You know what's funny? In music production, we can tell the difference between an accident and intentional damage. Wavelengths don't lie." Aunt Sarah gasped. "Are you suggesting?" "I'm not suggesting anything," I interrupted, reaching for the door. "But tomorrow, a specialist will be analyzing exactly what happened to my ear. And unlike Dr. Stevens, she doesn't come to your holiday parties." The silence that followed was different from the muffled world I'd been living in. It was the silence of fear, of a family realizing their perfect cover-up was about to be exposed. As I walked out, Jake's confident facade cracked slightly. He knew what the video showed. He knew what a real specialist would find. And now he knew that his cousin, the one he tried to silence, was finally going to be heard. Dr. Patricia Wong's office was nothing like Dr. Stevens' cozy family practice. The walls were lined with audiological equipment, and soundproof testing rooms stood like silent sentinels. Her expression remained neutral as she reviewed Tommy's video for the third time. The angle and proximity of the firework, she said, pausing the footage, this wasn't random. The perpetrator knew exactly what he was doing. She turned to face me. Mr. Davidson, this was a deliberate attack targeting your auditory system. My phone had been buzzing continuously all morning. Jake, cuz, please don't do this. I'll help you find another job. Mom, the family's falling apart because of this. Uncle Robert, think about your cousin's future. Dr. Wong's tests were comprehensive. Unlike Dr. Stevens' 2-minute examination, she spent hours mapping the damage. The results appeared on her screen in vivid, damning detail. The burn pattern and acoustic trauma are consistent with a close-range firework attack, she explained, pointing to the images. This wasn't someone fooling around. The angle suggests the perpetrator aimed specifically at your ear canal. I swallowed hard. Will I recover? Her face softened. There's permanent damage to your left ear. Your right ear also shows stress from compensating. Without immediate intervention, you're looking at progressive hearing loss in both ears. The treatment plan she outlined was extensive and expensive. Surgery, specialized therapy, potential cochlear implants. I'm also, she added, obligated to report this as assault. This type of injury falls under mandatory reporting laws. As if on cue, my phone lit up with a text from Jake's lawyer father. Think carefully about your next move. False accusations can lead to serious legal consequences. Dr. Wong noticed my expression. Mr. Davidson, I've seen cases like this before. Family pressure to stay quiet, threats disguised as concern. But this report shows clear evidence of intentional harm. She pulled up a frequency analysis. See these patterns? They match exactly what would happen if someone held a firework at this specific angle. Your friend's video confirms it. This wasn't an accident. It was calculated to cause maximum damage to your auditory system. My hands shook as I signed the forms authorizing her to file the report. Outside her office, I found Aunt Sarah waiting. Marcus, pleased, he grabbed my arm. Jake made a mistake. He's young. Don't ruin his life over this. Young? I turned to face her. He's 26, Aunt Sarah, and this wasn't his first mistake. What do you mean? I pulled up photos on my phone, my smashed guitar from high school, the accidentally deleted portfolio files before college applications, the pranks that always seemed to target my music career. Jake did make a mistake, I said, my voice steady despite the constant ringing. He made a choice. Every time I succeeded at something he couldn't control, he tried to break me. But this time, he left evidence. Detective Martinez arrived while Aunt Sarah was still processing this revelation. Dr. Wong handed over her findings, including the video analysis and medical reports. Based on these reports, Martinez said, reviewing the documents, we're looking at second-degree assault with intent to cause bodily harm. The premeditation is clear. Aunt Sarah sank into a chair, her perfect family narrative crumbling. But he's applying to law school, and I was starting my dream job. I replied, funny how that worked out. My phone buzzed again. The recording studio. Despite everything, they were willing to work with me to modify my role while I underwent treatment. Unlike my family, they saw value in more than just perfect appearances. Detective Martinez took my statement, her pen scratching against paper as I detailed years of accidents leading up to the firework attack. In the hallway, I could hear Aunt Sarah crying into her phone, probably calling Uncle Robert. Dr. Wong placed a hand on my shoulder. The surgery won't restore everything, but it can prevent further deterioration. Your musical ear won't be the same, but you'll adapt. Musicians always do. I thought about the studio, about the ways I could reshape my career around this new reality. Sound engineering had multiple paths, and I had always been good at finding new frequencies. One more thing, Martinez added, closing her notebook. We'll need statements from witnesses at the reunion. Time to find out who else has been keeping quiet. As I left the medical center, my phone lit up with a final message from Jake. I never meant for it to go this far. But the frequency analysis told a different story, and this time the truth would be heard. 6 months after the hearing tests, I stood in the control room of Riversound Studios, adjusting frequencies through my specialized hearing aids. The surgery had saved what remained of my hearing, and though my left ear would never be the same, I learned to work with my new limitations. Jake's trial was scheduled for next week. After Dr. Wan's report went public, 5 other victims came forward. Cousins and family friends who'd suffered Jake's accidents over the years but were silenced by family pressure. His law school admission was already rescinded. How's the mix coming along? My boss, David, stepped into the booth. He'd restructured my role, focusing on my strengths in digital composition and sound design. The studio even paid for specialized equipment to accommodate my hearing needs. Almost there, I replied, making final adjustments. The computer analysis helps catch what I might miss now. My phone buzzed. A message from Tommy, who'd finally agreed to testify. Just got subpoenaed. Your aunt's trying to claim the video was edited. I smiled grimly. The forensic audio specialist had already authenticated the footage. The family's usual tactics of denial and manipulation wouldn't work this time. The studio door opened and Mom stood there, looking smaller than I remembered. Marcus, please. The trial. It's destroying everything. I continued working, letting the familiar rhythm of the soundboard ground me. No, Mom. Jake's actions destroyed everything. The trial is just exposing what was already broken. He's family. Family? I turned to face her. When he targeted my hearing, the one thing I needed most for my career, where was this concern for family? David discreetly left the room as Mom sank into a chair. We always thought Jake was just being competitive. We never imagined. Yes, you did. I corrected her. You just chose to ignore it. Like you ignored the broken instruments, the sabotage applications, everything that might have exposed the Golden Boy's true nature. My phone lit up with updates from Detective Martinez. The prosecution had uncovered Jake's internet history, searches about permanent hearing damage, firework acoustics, optimal angles for sonic injury. The accident defense was crumbling. Your father's not sleeping. Mom tried again. Uncle Robert's firm is losing clients. Aunt Sarah's had to take leave from work. And I've had to relearn my entire profession, I replied, pointing to my hearing aids. But I'm not hiding anymore. The mixing board lit up as the next track began playing. Through my right ear and the modified equipment, I could still feel the music's pulse, its reformed beauty. Different from before, but still alive. A new message appeared, from Jake's younger sister Emma. I'm testifying too. He pushed me down the stairs before a dance recital when we were kids. They called it an accident then too. The family's perfect facade was shattering, years of buried truths surfacing like air bubbles in deep water. Each new revelation confirmed what I'd always known. Jake's actions were never accidents, and the family's silence had enabled him. The prosecutors offered a plea deal, Mom said quietly. 10 years. Robert thinks Jake should take it. I nodded, focusing on the soundboard. Good. Maybe he'll learn something about consequences. Will you ever forgive us? The question hung in the air like a discordant note. I adjusted a frequency, watching the wavelengths align on my screen. Mom, I'm not angry anymore, I said finally, but forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending everything's okay. She stood slowly, aging years in moments. Your new album, the one you're producing, will you still use the family name? No, I replied. I'm using my grandmother's maiden name, starting fresh. As she left, David returned with coffee and news. The track you mixed last week? It's being considered for a major film soundtrack. I smiled, touching my hearing aid. The equipment might be different, but the music was still there, transformed but undefeated. Jake had tried to silence my art, but he'd only forced it to evolve. Later that night, I sat in my apartment, listening to the final mix through specialized headphones. The bass lines felt different now, the treble reformed through technology and adaptation. It wasn't the same as before, but it carried a new kind of beauty, the kind forged from survival. My phone showed one last message from Detective Martinez. Plea deal accepted. Jake confesses to all charges. I switched off my phone and turned back to the music. Tomorrow, there would be paperwork and procedures, victim statements and closure. But tonight in this moment, I let the reformed sounds wash over me. A symphony of survival composed in frequencies of truth.